Hello everyone, so in this video I'm going to be redoing the base build for my aircraft carrier. The audio was really bad in the last one, so I want to go in and make a new one where the audio is not as awful as that one was. I got a good bit of feedback, and yes, the audio in that one was just atrocious. So, enough about that. So I'm gonna find the button correct on my mouse pad and my gamepad eventually. So I'm on this little point right here in the south side of the pond. You can see the pond goes up right here. I'm on that little point. I'm on this route. My boathouse is built right there with a giant rock through it. I use this as a way to get down, and I only have a little bit built right here. I'm going to build more. So what I first did was I got the foundations down here on the water. So basically I got my foundations in, and then once your foundations are in, the stairs they take with no problem because of the back of the stairs is supported by the root that you're building up on top of. Now, obviously, you don't have to build here. You can build wherever you want. And with buoyant foundations, you could go build out there and not have to attach it to the ground at all. That is the nice thing about the buoyant foundations is they give you that ability. So I'm just building little stairs up because I do jump off the boat, run up the stairs, and go running towards Burgle sometimes. That's just what I do. So I got my stairs. I'm just going to go too wide. I'm going to put some handrails on them and stuff so you don't fall in the water, accidentally. So with the sprig railing up there, you can get these handrails, or these, what is this, the triangle wall, to line up perfectly like handrails. Now, let me go ahead and put down the rest of the buoyant foundations. Nice thing about the buoyant foundation is all of the pieces that make up the buoyant foundation, the eelgrass strand, silk rope, bear leather, all that can go in your inventory. You don't actually have to carry it on your shoulder, so you can build a lot more of these a lot faster. When I first built this, I built through this particular route on purpose because I wanted my, because it was grass floor. We didn't have buoyant foundations at the time. We didn't have the pond chip yet, which is the chip sleuth, the fishbowl, which is where you get the buoyant foundations from. It's about far enough out. So just gonna make sure I'm far enough out that I'll clear the rocks and the roots on both sides. And that's just kind of like a little pathway out. Yes, it's overkill, but it's how I build. All right, so we got a little bit of lights, a little bit of lights. I would handrail, do handrails all along here so you don't fall in, but I'm not gonna worry about that because, well, it's creative. Now this is 3 sections wide. The middle spot will be the opening to get in the ship, so that spot right there will actually be empty because that's gonna be the door. For the very first level, the first layer, or whatever you call it, I used weed stem walls all the way around. But first, we're gonna get that floor laid out. So I turned the floor sideways compared to the walkway coming out. So I turned it sideways. Now this is the center line of the boat. It's going to go 7 sections in that direction, and then 7 more sections that direction, for a total of 15 floor sections in length. Not counting the point at the bow. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, for me, I left an opening right here because to jump out of the water into the boat works quite well. I'm going to see if it'll let me attach a stair set real quick. Nope. See, in my world, if you come visit me on my stream, there's a set of stairs right there attached, just like that. I'm going to leave that open anyway. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the same thing, I'm going to leave that last one. I'm actually not going to build that very last one right there because that's going to be another way out of the water. So it's going to save you, if you want to do that, you don't have to. It would save you a little bit because we're going to build on top of that too. Now, once you get your floor laid out, honestly, I would lay out this and get to the stern as quickly as possible. Reason being, you want to build up on the stern so you can get a zip line anchor here as quickly as possible because obviously on the water, it's a lot of running otherwise. So we're going to do, basically we're going to do a very minimal build to get up there. So it's going to be I think it's 4 sections to reach the top of the boat, just like that. Obviously you can't do, you have to do a little bit by a little bit in the real game, in the live game, sorry. So see, that's not wanting to take because I'm missing a floor, which is fine. So you don't have, like I said, you don't have to do that. You can even leave a, you can just jump out of the water right there and come in. It works that way too. So now that you're up here, you have a bit of a floor. I would bring the floor around this way towards the center. Just a little bit. That's all you really need right there. Another scaffolding, make sure you rotate it so that you can walk through it like this as you come up the stairs, and you'll walk through it with no problem. Another set of stairs. Now we're up at the top of the boat. So you get up here really quick, which is a good thing. Now up here, you're going to want to open this up a bit. I would go to the north side towards the opposite side of the pond. Just kind of open up a bit and get yourself a zipline anchor on here. Now, I wouldn't worry about the placement just yet, because when I did this, I had like one or two zip lines attached to it. When I was done, I tore it down, moved it, and repositioned it. I also, you see the base up there. That base is in my real game. It looks a little bit better than that because Pebble foundations were working back then. And you could, I put a zip line right there on that rock and brought grass planks from there over here. You could now, you see a little building right across the street just above my character's head right here, a little catch building around this, and send all of it by itself without you having to come with it. I'll post a link in the video, in the description of this video, for my little simple kind of cheap zip line catch building. I'll get through these words eventually. But once you've got that going and you start bringing supplies over, then it's time to build from the bottom up. Makes more sense that way. So the entire, like I said, the entire bottom level, just this bottom, when I say bottom level, I mean this one wall height, is all weed stems all the way around, and they're all vertical. Now the stern, they go further up, but just on the sides and the bow, it's just one level like this. So we just keep going through, and okay. I will delete those walls that are behind me right now in a minute. I think the reason that one scaffolding down there I didn't want to take, I didn't have anything supporting it on the side like these walls. This one over here, because I'm about to put a scaffolding over this hole. So as I said, that's why I left this one open. I counted up 7 from the center. I left that opening because that is your marker for your scaffolding going up. This is also a way you can jump out of the water and you can still get out and go this way. Get my character's head's in the way. And now I have stairs going up from the bottom to the middle level, and eventually we will have it going all the way up. So since you've already kind of built up here and you got some platform going on there, I would work from this end and go back towards the bow. I'd work from the stern to the bow. So here we're going to give it a little bit of a flare. So we're going to put the inverted triangle wall off of each side. And then with that, we're going to go the clover roof. And just that way we can have that angle out. Kind of like that classic look you see on the ships. At least on the aircraft carriers. Oh look, there goes the bird. Riding the bird is fun. He'll send you across the street sometimes. I'll post that link in the video below since I mentioned it. That was hilarious when we did that. Typically, it breaks the game and I have to restart. Like, go all the way to the desktop and restart. Alright, so we're just going to keep going along. Unfortunately, these blueprints don't always want to snap into place as well as I would hope they would. They're difficult. So right here, when we come around when we get to the bow, you want the roof corner, not the squared roof corner, the regular roof corner. You're going to put 2 of them here, one facing to the left, one facing to the right. Then we're going to come back with the roof interior corner and fill in those gaps, which is going to be 4 of them. And now you see we're starting to get that point on the bow. We're going to go back to the regular clover roof and finish that off. Now, I like to build from one end to the other instead of kind of making things go a different way. You can build however you want, obviously. So for this one, we're going to bring this floor, making sure that it's rotated the right way. If you're like me, you have that, it's got to be exactly the same. That OCD kicks in. And do not go past the edge of the roof right there, the little roof pieces. Don't go past them. You want to stay inside like this, because we still have more roof pieces to go up and expand it out even more to make the flight deck, as I call it, a lot bigger. This is a very large base. It does have lots of room, especially for expansion. There's a lot of space in it that I just haven't used. But with them adding games, I'll get through words eventually. With them adding more stuff to the game, there we go. I want to have space in my bases so that I can adjust and incorporate the new stuff, whatever that may be. So obviously we're leaving that open because we want to be able to, come up here like this. And this is just more, you don't really need it, but for me, it's just I just built 3 of those. Gotta love it when creative just puts stuff wherever it wants. Or deletes the wrong thing. That's not correct. Oh, it was there and then it moved. Let me just delete this floor so I can see what I'm doing. There. Alright, so let's get back to finishing this up. So we've got that built up there. We grab a couple of triangle pieces and we're just going to fill in these little gaps. Alright, so this is going to be the floor that has... I don't know why I put those there. I just realized my mistake. Don't do that. You're going to throw a scaffolding on top of that. Stairs. But we'll get to more of that in a second. Let's go ahead and get the rest of the stern built, because you gotta bring this up and flare it out. So the bottom section right here, this bottom row that I'm standing in front of, is 4 wheat stem walls wide. The row directly on top of it is 6. So you're gonna stick 1 extra one out to the right and 1 extra one out to the left, so you have 6. We're gonna grab the inverted triangle wall and then just complete that same slope up. You got to do the inverted triangle wall in order to attach the clover roof. Without it, it will stay unsupported. At least it did when I was building this. I don't know how long ago I built this. It's been a while. But I did say unsupported until I put the the inverted triangle wall back there on the stern. And this is actually a pretty easy way to build the walls. You load up your inventory full of clover leaves, which there's a bunch right over there, as you see. And then ant armor, and you can complete 8 sections of this in one trip. Unless you do workers' comp, and then you can do 10. But if you're using a catch system, to where you send everything across the zip line without you coming across the zip line personally, you can get a lot more done a lot faster. I didn't do that at the time. I kind of wish I did. My most recent build that I just started yesterday definitely went a lot faster when I decided to use the actual catch. Like I said, I will link that in the description below. Why is there ripples in the water? There's nothing in it. But I'll link that video in the description below. Making a simple, and for me, temporary catch building. Which even for this, like especially on a base like this, if you put the catch building up there on the stern up there where that zipline anchor is, probably not going to want to keep it up there forever. Probably going to take it down when you're done. But that's personal preference per the builder. So we're just going to finish off. Now this is going to be the last, as far as these types of roof pieces go. because that whole side that's empty right now is literally just the regular clover roof piece. Even though roof pieces are still, they're not the best when it comes to snapping in position. I say that, and all these are just like, you know, right in place. So it's because it's such a large base, it is a very time-consuming build, but one that I think is well worth it. You know, personal opinion now. All right, now this is going to be the actual flight deck, and it will hang over the back end of the stern, one floor section like that. So that wasn't done by mistake; that was done on purpose. We want to go over the back end of the boat, one floor section, all the way across. And then, of course, we're going to fill the middle, and it will hang over the edges as well. And as I get to that, I'll point that out. So I'm going to go to the port side, which is if you're facing the bow, port to be is to the right. So I'm going to go to the port side stern corner. And like I said, it hangs over the side one floor section as well. Right here, this little corner, I didn't put a square, I put a triangle. I want to kind of angle it in a little bit. Over here, I believe it was a triangle, that 1, 2, and then triangle, and then floor from there on up. But then again, I was going off a reference of, I can't even remember the name of the ship now. Might have been the Nimitz. So now it's just a lot of grass to go in here. But once we get the grass in, then we get to put in all the fun stuff. Because in the very bottom, which when I first built it, the very bottom didn't have anything in it. If you've seen any of my videos where I've woken up in the brig, there's an actual brig in the bottom of the boat. And then underneath where we're at right now, that floor down there, that's where the bed, the storage, and all that kind of stuff's at, is right down there. Okay, I guess I wasn't close enough. I was holding the X. Oh, so much grass. Luckily, like I said, when I built this, I had a zip line anchor up there, and I was able to bring grass in that way. But I didn't have a catch building, so I had to bring them in literally two floor squares at a time and then go back. But the way I had it set up, I could zip line right off the back end of the boat, right back across the yard, because on that rock right over there is my actual receiving zip line anchor to go to that base over there. So it did kind of work out, which is good. Now you see how we get to this corner right here, and I've got this one square off to that one right there. That the bottom left corner from the way I'm facing meets the corner of the hull where it starts to angle in. I'm gonna go one more up, and then I'm gonna continue that like that. I hate when that happens. I was hoping that wouldn't happen. I don't want to fall on it. I want to delete it. Okay. Back to the floors. Lots of floors. So you've got these two pieces right here, which are, you see the line between them goes right up the center. We're going to take 4 of these. So 2 to the right and 2 to the left of the point of the bow. And that is going to be our nose, that iconic nose for aircraft carrier that sticks way off the front end. And this one will go out. It won't go out like crazy far, but it's going to go out a good ways. You can make yours snub nose, or you can really stretch it out there. It's with you. Now this one, as you see the corner of the bow where it turns in, and I have the, kind of hard to see. You see that right there, the bottom right corner from the way I'm facing of the red square is touching the hull right there. That's going to be it. We're not going to go any further out than that right there. Just like that. Now we're going to get some triangle floors and close these in. Basically, I don't want these to be lined up. I want these triangle floors to be offset just a bit, or not like that. And I'll explain that one in just a second. I'm going to add one more row of floors up here. Okay, so you see how this one ends on that row. That one ends 1 row higher. And they are offset in the actual, like, how the boats are actually built. So on the nose down here, or the bow, this is basically all it is a zipline anchor. And there's an anchor in the back. Now once I had this built and pretty much done the way I wanted, I moved this because I didn't want it so close to the stairs. At first I was just trying to get it in place to get the materials here as quickly as possible. After that it was, move it over a little bit, however you want. But I have one at each end for the simple fact of I have bases on this side of the tree that can't reach the nose. I have bases over here that have to connect to here because there might be a laser in the way, or there's a just different things are blocking the way of getting here. Like from up there, that one's fine. I know I have a base on the opposite side of the tree, way on the other side. It can only connect to right there. So it all depends on the angle. So having the 2 of them right there on such a long ship gives you the option of kind of basically circumventing the tree with your zip lines. So now we're going to go to the bottom. We're going to check the time, 19:30. Okay. And first thing I'm going to do is going to set up the brig. And this is all decoration right here. So, I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to, obviously. So from the stairs, you're going to go 2 floor sections. Then you're going to go 2 more floor sections, put another wall. 2 more floor sections, put another wall. And finally, the last one. You want to be 2 floor sections off the stairs on each end. And if you spaced it out correctly, you will be. Now we're going to grab some actual floors for the ceiling of our jail cells, or the brig. I'm going to hurry up and get the first one built. So for the windowed areas, I use the windowed sturdy wall because it has that kind of, jail look with the bars. And then just a regular door. I can't see, my character's in the way. Let me go ahead and throw one of these in here real quick because it is time to sleep and it's getting dark. And I'm going to put a light in here just for the hell of it, because there is a light in each one. There's a lean-to and a light in each little jail cell. So, and here we go. Grab that. We'll go ahead and throw that one down too. I don't think that'll interfere with the door. I'm hoping it won't. Not that it matters. I'll just delete it and replace it. Okay. And then like I said, and it's a simple little, it's supposed to look kind of drab because, well, it's a jail cell. Now, I'm gonna go up the bow set of stairs, and I'm actually gonna stop because I don't know if you guys like the way that looks from the side, but I hate it. So I fixed it. On that one right there, that was 1 triangle floor piece, and then because the stairs are slanting from the bottom left to the top right, I rotated the floor here so that the weed stem would match. And then I'm going to connect these all the way up. Or I'm going to put a wall up on the flight deck for whatever reason. And that just kind of makes them look better to me. I mean, that when it comes to that, the aesthetics, that's all personal preference. If you like it the way it was, you know, leave it. It's up to you. All right, let's get down here. I'm going to do the exact same thing to these stairs. I'm going to drop down to the very bottom. You see, I just hate the way that looks. And I'm going to... But this time, instead of canceling the blueprint, I'm going to come up here and place these two real quick. And then with this one, I'm going to rotate that wall around because you see it doesn't match the stairs. I want the angle like that right there. I want that angle to match. I mean, yeah, it doesn't really matter on the in front of the scaffolding, but you know, consistency. So that is the entire bottom floor. I mean, there's not much down here other than a bunch of beds. This boat has 9 sleeping areas on it, so you shouldn't have a problem finding a spot to sleep in here. Now, for the sleeping quarters, like where the bunk beds are, because they actually are bunk beds, 1 floor section off the stairs off the bow. Basically, you come down this and you're face to face with an armor dummy. Several of them, because I have 6 armor dummies right here. You know, you can just, you know, place whatever you want here, but for me, this was a good spot for armor dummies. And of course, you know, gotta have some lights. So that little knot right there in the middle of the tree, or middle of the weed stem, I try to put them right on top of that thing. So I switched to first person, so it's easier to point that out. Now, go away. From left to right, from starboard side to port side. That's what that is. North to south, however you want to look at it. It's 3 wall sections because you don't want to go all the way across, because then you're, you know, blocked off from getting to the other end of the boat. Oh, no. It all has to be the same. Sorry, even for the video. Now, we're going to go inside on the other side. It's going to be 4 wall sections down the side. And no, you don't have to do these and close them all in, but I'm doing it for the effect it puts on the roof. Up top. When I get up there, I'll point it out. But basically, I'm making sure that little pink arrow, I'm making sure it's pointed out on all these walls. This is the one section I left open. I don't put a door, I just left it open. Like, there's nothing there. It's just a walkway. Then I have 2 windowed stem walls, and then the very last one right here is a regular one. That weed stem wall is for something else, and we'll get to that in a second. Now on the inside, because I'm going to put in 6 beds, yes, I'm putting in 6 beds, I need a space for wall lockers. So 6 of the simple beds, I'm going to put them the bottom row, headboard to my left if I'm facing that wall. I'm going to go ahead and put the ones to the edge, you know, right and left in first. That way it's a little bit easier to center this, because that's kind of close, but it's fine. Then I'll put a shelf right above it. Because when I was a kid in grade school, we actually got to spend the night on an old battleship called the USS Kidd. I don't think it was a battleship, but still an old naval vessel, the USS Kidd. And yeah, you were really close to whoever was sleeping right above you. It was kind of uncomfortable. So for this one, I'm actually going to turn the beds around, and you see the headboard of the bed underneath. I'm trying to get the footboard of this one lined up right on top of it, like so. Now this I have to turn around. I have to turn the bed around. It's crooked, I think. Push it all the way to the wall, or into the wall even. And they're kind of lined up. They're not perfect, but they're close. Now for this, I have 6 beds. I'm going to put in 6 boxes, or wall lockers. So 2 per level. Then a shelf. 2 more boxes. And the reason I'm doing the shelf, boxes and shelf, and boxes and shelf, if you put the shelves, all the shelves in first, the boxes won't go underneath. They're going to want to go on top. Now, I know I said these are like the wall lockers, but I use them for healing smoothies, for food, for workers' comp when I was building this, for liquid gills. On the other side over here. Can't remember what the last one is. Then I have one extra box that's up here, and this is like in all my base builds, there's a junk box or a junk drawer like people have in their kitchen. And it is literally a question mark, and it's orange because that's my color. Now in front of here, I just did some decorations for the hell of it. Took one of these rectangular tables, grabbed a chair. Now, I got this idea from one of my viewers. Her name is Shira, and this idea that I'm talking about, she took these signs and snapped them to right here to make it look like computer screens. It's actually really interesting. It's a little tricky to get that one to take. I'm actually going to get that one closer. So now you can put, you know, all kinds of stuff on it. You know, whichever. Or you could just put lights there. You know, either one, doesn't really matter. But that's something that Shira showed me, and I was like, oh, that looks really cool. So I wanted to incorporate that somewhere. I'll give her a little bit of shout out because she let me borrow an idea for a base, and then I kind of tweaked it a little bit. Now on the inside, you see I have armor dummies on the outside. On the inside is where I put my weapon racks. But there's a couple of spots where you can put a lot of weapon racks, and nice and neat and organized. So they have space for 4 there, or this wall right here. You can actually do 8 because you have, this is for the storage lockers inside, but now I have to have my actual like base storage right out here. So for this, I like to use weed stem walls at the ends of my storage setup, and then I'm going to grab I'm just going to throw down 3 boxes, and always do the boxes before you do the floor directly above them, or else they won't actually want to take. And what I mean by that is, hold on, where is it? If I try to push that box underneath, you see it keeps jumping up. So do the boxes, then do the floor above it for the shelves. And you can also kind of hop up here like this when you're building and do your boxes directly from up here, or even do the floor. It's too easy to jump over here though. You can literally go up that side wall and just jump on here. And the same thing, more boxes across here. Like I said, I'm only doing 3 per level. You can cram them in pretty tight. I only have 21 here. My boxes are spaced out a little bit more than that, but I'm pretty sure you can fit up to 30. It does get a little dark in here, so you're gonna want a little bit of light. Now I wouldn't put light on that end because I'm about to wall that in. And reason being is I had a feeling we would need extra storage for whatever reason, and you kind of, I mean, you can build off of the roof pieces, but I just went with these walls all the way down. And you see how it all matches. From there, through there, to there, it all kind of just flows. Now, I left this area empty, as far as nothing here. Next to it is where I put, let me spin that around. I think I have 10 of these. I'm just going to do 3. I have 10 of those spinners going along there. Lights intermittently along the wall, you know, above the spinners. I think I have 3 or 4 sections of shelving right above it, and I have boxes up there, and those boxes have in them, it's 3, the equipment from the pond, such as water boatman fins, eelgrass strands, and stuff like that. That's what's in these boxes up here. So I've got the ones that go along the front edge, but I also have one turned around at the back edge right here too, just to maximize space. And I still have room to do that, even the same little thing where I turn one sideways and put it right here behind those boxes over there. So I could, if I wanted to, put another box right there. Just have it right up to the edge. That way I can look up and get into the box. But I have this is completely full, you know, boxes all the way across. This has spinning wheels all the way across. Or you could continue this shelf system along this wall and move your spinning wheels to back here. You know, there's lots of space. There's a lot of open space in this space, which is nice because if we ever have to expand or add new features or whatever, I've got room. So right here next to the stairs was a good spot to put the workbench since it's next to close to the boxes with all the crafting materials in it. And then there. So that is the main level where the bed and all the storage is at. And if you don't want to do the signs, you can just do lights right there. You know, you could just put, I keep hitting the wrong button. Just put some lights right there. It's up to you. Personal preference on that one. Now, up here to the top. So I'm only going to do these sprig railings in certain parts. So I'm going to do this whole side. If I can get it to rotate correctly, there we go. So we're going to go from the bow towards the, I'm sorry, the stern, that's the stern, not the bow. Towards the bow, which is in that direction. Now, one thing I will say, if you're laying your blueprints, before you build those blueprints, come over here, find the center of this walkway, which is directly where I'm standing, because this gives you centered front to back, you know, bow to stern of the floor and the base. And if you have a blueprint there, delete it. And what we're going to do is build a bounce web tower right here, and it's going to look like the command tower, because the command tower on an aircraft carrier is on the starboard side. Don't worry, that wall that's out there, we're going to delete that. I'm only going to do 3 levels. I'm not going to do a big ass tower. Now from down here, before you even, you know, put the bounce web tower in, you can look up and the blueprint will reach. So drop your blueprint on the inside area, because you want to put the bounce web on towards the outside edge. That way you can walk in and then jump. Let me move out of the way. Now, when you have your grass planks with you, you can either try to land on the wall or bounce up and down on that a whole bunch of times, spamming the build button, which for me is E. And then you just keep going up, repeating that exact same thing. I'll link a description, I'll link a video in the description below of my bounce web tower designs. This is a 6-sided one, and it's actually probably one of the cheapest and fastest ones to build. So, to the bow, I keep calling it the wrong thing. To the stern side of the command tower, I can't just call it that, we're going to go with it. That's where I have all my jerky racks. I have like 4 of them, I think, maybe 5. So I'm just kind of placing them out. I have 5 because this goes here. And then to the bow, the bow side of this thing, we're gonna go. I have 2 water tanks because you never know when something might change, and all of a sudden your dew collectors stop working again. I like to have extra water. And then, well, dew collectors, because it makes sense to put them near the water containers. Now, I'm not being too precise with where they sit. I'm just trying to get them built. I think I have 4. And of course, throw in some lights. This light can literally just sit right there. You can even though there's a light inside the tower, you can do a light right here. So at night, if you're, you know, about to die of thirst, you could run over here, not be totally in the dark. Or if you've got meat that's about to spoil, and you need to get over here quickly and put it on the jerky rack. Alright, now, as I said earlier in the video, the sturdy wall makes an interesting design on the flight deck up here, and this is what we're going to mess with now. So we're going to take and close in all but 2 sections. So we're going to close in the starboard side all the way up, and then turn in 1. We're going to leave that middle spot open. No, I said open, not halfway. And then around the outside edge on these corners is where I put the lights. You don't need a whole lot. I mean, it actually, even though at night this space is big, you're still pretty well lit up. Now, as one of my viewers once asked me, why do you have mushroom gardens in your bases if you don't use them? I do use them from time to time to make smoothies. Other than that, every base has them. It's one of those things. We're going to put 6 in here. So we do the 4 in the corners first. And I find this easier maybe to space this if you're in third person, so you can get the that spacing a little bit. But you're going to just kind of space it evenly left and right. May not be perfect, but it's close. Now, since I'm standing next to this set of stairs, now this is where I put handrails. And of course a light. That way if I'm trying to get down to the bottom area where the beds are, I've got a light that says, hey, the stairs are right here. Now I'm going to do sprig railing down this side as well for the placement of the pallet storage, just to make sure it's not hanging over the edge. But my entire base in my real game has sprig railing wrapping around the entirety of the this flight deck, if that's what you want to call it. Okay, so I got sprig rails going all the way down. So I'm gonna start at that end. So first thing, I'm gonna throw a light in the corner, and then I'm gonna go 3 weed stem pallets. Put them in close together, as close as you want. I mean, I know there's some you can like pretty much almost stack them one on top of the other in the same spot, but I don't do that. I'll put them close, but I'm not gonna put them that close. Like I said, I do 9. You know, space them out, putting lights between. You know, do 3, do a light, do 3, do a light. That way, it's easy to see them at night, and it also keeps the whole upper deck up here well lit as well. Now I've got those 9 in. I'm going to go to this end and start from this corner over here. Same thing. I'm going to start with a light in the corner. But now we're going to do grass pallets. This one I think I only do 6. As I do 3, a light, and then 3. I'm going to leave that a bit of a gap because I can just put the light right there. And even though there is a light just to my right, I'm still going to put another light, more for the symmetry than anything else. Like I said, this one I can just run over here and put and place it. So that's your upper deck. Obviously, you would finish closing in all the sprig railing around the bow and the stern. I'm going to put the sprig railing around this right here. And like I said, same thing, a light just so you can kind of see where the stairs are. Don't really need to put a light by this because between that light and that light over there, you can see this well enough. So let's just double check, make sure I've got everything covered, which I think I do. That looks like it. Other than the fact that I didn't build the whole tower, and I'm not going to. So, and yep, there we go. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I redid this video because the audio was horrible in the first attempt of doing this. So I redid it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy this and would like to see more content like this, hit that like and subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications. I do stream on my YouTube every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday from starting around 3:30 to 4 p.m. Mountain Time. That is subject to change as I am starting a new job on Monday, January 4th. So once I get my work schedule figured out, then the stream schedule will then have to adjust around it. But we'll see how that goes. But until then, until I get that going, I will still stream at the normal times. So this Friday and Saturday I'll be streaming. You guys can definitely stop by the stream, say hi, ask me any questions. I'll go through whatever I can. If you can't catch a stream but still want to ask me some questions, drop a comment in the section below, and I will definitely answer it. But until the next video or the next stream, you guys have a good one.